let's deal with the most important aspect about health for each and every one of you. It is the empowerment of being healthy or becoming healthy. And for each and every one of you in here, what does that mean? It means when you get up in the morning, you get out of bed, you have stiffness or you have difficulty moving from one position to the other, you have health issues. Okay? If you look in the mirror, all right, and you do not like what you see, you have health issues. Okay? Serious. Okay?
How many of us look in the mirror today?
Yes. So, one thing that I need you to understand, it's not in terms of what is wanted, it is you. Okay? It is you that is important, that you need to take care of yourself. And as a physician, as a practitioner, I've been a practitioner since I was born. Because after my birth and growing up, I was called Dr. Pyle, ever since a child. And there was nothing else that was meant for me but to become a physician. I realized that in the 3rd grade when I was listening to the other students talking about their career, and one individual, oh, I love that music. I'm a percussionist, so I have the thing as a timer here in my kumbas. Anyway, as a 3rd grader, I heard the other children talking about what they wanted to be. And there was one young man who said, Gary Peterson was his name, and he said he wanted to be a lawyer. And I said, what does a lawyer do? And he told me, and I said, well, I was so fascinated by it. So when I got home, my mother was cooking in the kitchen, and I said, Mommy, I said, you know, I don't want to be a doctor anymore. I want to be a lawyer. And my mother stopped cooking. And she turned to me, and she said, you are going to be a doctor. And don't you ever let me hear you say anything else. And that was it. Now, when we talk about health, always coming into elementary school, middle school, I've always had a teacher tell me, you don't want to become a doctor. You want to maybe go into music or art. When I got into high school, my career counselor, you don't want to become a doctor. You don't want to go into medicine. You have great ability for music and art. When I was in college, at Brooklyn College in Brooklyn, New York, to learn about how to get my studies or my credits for pre-med, the career counselor told me, you don't want to become a doctor. And I said, thank you very much. I had a professor in college who told me, he says, I don't think you have the ability to become a doctor. Now, when I'm talking about me, I'm talking about you.
That's right.
Okay?
That's it.
And I told him, I said, you don't even know me.
Now.
Okay? I said, I promise you this. I said, I promise you this. In 4 years, I will come back to this institution. And when I see you,
That's right.
you make sure you won't call me Orlando. You will call me Dr. Pyle. So he said, okay, well, guess what? When I was at Rutgers in medical school, all I can remember is this teacher telling me, you will not be a doctor. Okay? You're not going to be a lawyer. You're not going to be a teacher. You're not going to be whatever you want to be. And I would study endless hours. When I completed my studies, I prayed to God that he was not dead. So, when I went back to Brooklyn College, this is a true story. When I walked down the corridor, I went to his office, it was closed. So I was disappointed. And as I was leaving, I heard a footsteps from around the corridor, and I smelled this tobacco that he used to smoke, this nasty pipe. And the hair on my Skip, she stood up. And when he went and I saw him, I walked down the hallway. He looked around. I said, Professor Madison. He turned around and he looked, squinted. And he said, oh, Orlando. I said, no, sir. Dr. Pyle.